Alright guys, I have to get this off my chest now. This is going to be a rant like no other I've done before, because in this one, I might actually break up into tears. So, rather than the usual, holy crap, Black Butler thing, we're not going to be doing that right now, because Black Butler doesn't really matter right now, so screw you, CL. I hate you. So, rather than going on about CL Phantom Hive and the new adventures in his life with the circus, let's just talk about something else for now. Today's rant will be about FMA, or Full Metal Alchemist, and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And one of the particularly moments in this, now I must warn you before we begin, even the slightest beginning of this, you need to know. Me and the crew advise you that if you have not seen Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, please do not watch this video. It will have the worst spoilers upon spoilers upon spoilers. Now, for this spoiler, it's gonna just... The heck? That's just weird. Anyway, as I said, now, let's go on. We could start this off like, here are the top 10 saddest anime deaths. But that's not it. This is probably our favorite pick because of how many animes we've watched and the latest of the deaths that has happened. As for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Full Metal Alchemist, this is probably the worst death that could possibly happen in the history of anime. It shocked everyone. I wasn't there when it happened because I had only found out about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and the other one. Sorry, repeating them twice. FMA. For about a couple of weeks. Within those weeks, I've watched them, and I really enjoyed it. That is, until of the first one. I reached episode 25. In fact, I kind of knew it was coming. Like, I didn't know it was coming, but I knew it was coming. You know, that sort of feeling. But it was awful just to see it happen. And, alright, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me shed some light on the subject. I'm talking about Maze Hughes, the most funniest, downright awesomest anime dad in the world. He literally is obsessed with his daughter Alicia and literally goes on about her for who knows how long with those silly pictures that he carries around in his wallet. Seriously, where does he get all these pictures? Or carry them around with him, you know, and everyone gets tired of it, but you know, they all think, haha, you're funny. And the people back at home watching, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so funny, LOL. If they ever decided to make a live action of this, so help me if they included his death. It'll still be awful. Anyway, following the lines of that, he's got a beautiful wife named Gracia and an adorable little daughter Alicia, going on about her for hours. And, you know, his best friend is Roy Mustang, who of course is, you know, he's just, there's no way to explain Mustang. Reasons. Back to Hughes. So he goes, you know, they meet the Edward Elric. I was going to say the Elric brothers instead of saying their names. And Alphonse, and, you know, they're gonna go along, you know, whatever, that sort of thing. But then, sooner or later, they keep getting themselves into trouble, and, you know, he always visited Ed when he was in the hospital, and he was always just that funny comic relief that you needed from all the drama going on, and he made me laugh and smile every time I would see him, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're my favorite character ever. And yes, this is an animated series. Yes, I cried over it. It's not that big a deal. Shows with, like, Once Upon a Time, if somebody died, or a moment made you sad, and they're real people with these characters, you know, of course you can cry. That's perfectly plausible. But if it's an animated character and they're not real, that doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot cry. Cry your eyes out. Nobody cares. Back to this. Now, this is one of the reasons why I hated the homunculus. I hated them because they were creepy. 2, because they're awkward. 3, because they just... blah. They don't make any sense. Well, I kind of like one homunculus. That would be Pride. Just because he's just got that level of freaky and disturbance that makes me like it. But besides that, I hated Envy. I thought it was a girl. And then I found the palm tree meme and said, I hate that palm tree so much, it should die. I really don't know if in the first series, I can't remember if Envy died in the first series, but I really hoped that he would have. But as for Brotherhood, I absolutely enjoyed the moment when Roy totally annihilates him. He is burnt to a crisp. Well, the human look. In the end, Envy actually killed himself. Oh well. Who cares? You Envy fangirls out there? You know what? Forget you. Forget you. So back to it. I cried my eyes out like a little baby. It was awful. To see that just happen, it was awful. I hated it. I hated every second. Of course, like, as soon as, like, and he turned into his wife. Do you know how awful that is? To be shot by your own wife? I also spotted a flaw within this. If Envy had not seen the picture of his wife, he probably wouldn't have been able to kill him. And Hughes probably might have had a chance. You know, he totally owned him the first time, and, you know, because it wasn't his wife. But, of course, when you take the face of someone you love, you can't kill them, no matter how much you want to. You just can't. But, man, it's 6 minutes already. Sorry about this. So, he just, it was, I mean, I was, like, in tears. I was watching it at something o'clock at night. I was in tears. My eyes wouldn't stop. And then what made it worse was the funeral. Of course, it was like, you know, a funeral. It was sad. It was awful. But not only the fact that it was awful and sad, they had to make everybody look sad. Well, of course they look sad. What am I talking about? Of course, they had to make it look sad. They had to give you that feel. This is why I love Fullmetal Alchemist. Of course, this would always be my first, but this is very much my second. They've developed their characters very well. They all have personalities and lives. Now, it just made it worse. Alicia had no idea what was going on. She was like, Desiree, please come. Mommy? Wait, whoa, get out of the shot. You're messing me up. You be, yeah. Mommy, why are they burying Daddy? Why? Oh, honey. Daddy said he had lots of work to do. If they bury him, he can't do his work. Okay, sorry for my fail, but that was like that moment when you're like, my heart just stopped. That is the saddest thing I have ever seen. Oh my god. This is hurting. This is majorly hurting. This is bad. And Roy's over there like, why? And not only that, it was his best friend. I mean, it sucks to lose your best friend. And Gracie's like crying her eyes out. And Alicia just made it worse. Because she's just this little girl, I think she was 4 or 5 when it happened. She literally had no clue. And it makes it worse because when your little kid has no idea what death is or has no experience with it, that makes it worse. It made it horrible. I hated it. Every second of it. And I was happy there was another series. Seeing as that it went along the lines of the manga, I was like, oh god, not again. Because they made him die again. But it was different. Sort of. Still, Envy killed him in a phone box. But it was still awful to watch twice. I hated it. I stopped watching FMA for a little bit after that moment. I finished the episode, of course, and I was done. I couldn't watch it anymore. And then I realized I had to watch it. So I did. And what made it specialer, and this proves how much they went into this series, they never forgot him. They literally never forgot him. I mean, they would go and visit, you know, that sort of thing. And that kind of like was one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, wow. Not like, in another anime, if a character dies, they're like so sad and they're like, oh my god, they died. And then they're never mentioned again. Like what? What? Wait, who's that? Who died? What? Like, they don't even care. Like, seriously. other characters like, we don't care anymore. So that meant a lot, the fact that he never was forgotten. And, you know, Roy kept trying to find his killer, you know, all that. And, you know, it was just that special. At the moment, I'm watching Fairy Tale and trying to finish it. There are 100 and something episodes. Netflix has run out for me, so now I must watch them on the computer. I also recently finished The Devil is a Part-Timer. That was a very funny anime, and we'll do a review of it later. But as of now, that was just the rant I had to get through because it was that awful. Now, if you liked, please comment, rate, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Oh my god, this is awful. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this stupid LPS rant that had no point to exist, but had to do it because I was watching the saddest anime deaths, and his happened to be one of them, so I had to do it. Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out from the crew. We'll just do this as our little intro. Oh my gosh, we have to go. Bye. Diamonds out. Peace.